Hey, this is Mike. I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I'm visiting Grand Strand Nissan, and I'm checking out a 2016 Nissan Maxima SV. And the SV trim level is kind of more on the bottom end, but you will be really surprised at how much this vehicle actually has. It's a step up from the bottom, which gives you, with the SV package, you get the sonar sensors front and back, plus you get the heated leather seats and a couple other small things, but it's kind of a good starting point for a lot of people that want leather seats. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it out. Of course, since it's the four-door sports car, it has a 3.5 liter V6 with 300 horsepower, and it's paired up with the Xtronic CVT transmission, which is, don't let the word CVT or the name CVT scare you. This thing cycles through like a 7-speed transmission, which you can check out my test drive video to kind of demonstrate. It does not have any kind of strange, weird effect to it. A lot of people are claiming that, and a lot of people are saying a lot of negative things about the CVT without actually having any kind of evidence to support it. So I just want to say, check out, if you have any doubts whatsoever in the CVT transmission in this particular vehicle, check out my test drive video where you can see it cycles through super fast, 7 gears, and it's really awesome. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so here's the key fob, and one of the features that this vehicle has is a remote start, which is this very top button. You also have the ability to lock and unlock the button, plus open up the trunk. And this is a proximity key, so you can actually leave this in your pocket the whole time and not actually have to take it out. So let's go ahead and start it up using the key fob. We just have to make sure the vehicle is locked and secure by pushing this button here, and then we'll push and hold this button. And that starts it up. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and unlock the doors. I can use the key fob to unlock the doors, or I can use the button on the side, which I'll show you in a second. So let's go ahead and take a look here in the front. It has the halogen projector headlights paired up with the halogen high beam reflector headlights there. Then you have the fog lights there at the bottom. And the accent lighting, I don't know if you can see that, is around there. It has that sharp point there, and it comes around, which is pretty cool. Then you have the four-door sports car logo there. Has the sonar sensors here in the front, that little circle there, and it actually is sonar. Some people get that confused with radar. And so, what do you think of these wheels? I think they match this vehicle perfectly. So you got the four-wheel disc brakes. And these are the Continental Pro Context tires, 18-inch. Let's take a look here, profile shot. And it has that floating roof design, which I'll show you that in a second. But let's take a look over here. A lot of contours, a lot of lines and contours there on the hood, on the side there. Like I said before in another video, it's kind of like a work of art type vehicle. So with the proximity key, I can actually just leave the key in my pocket, push this button, and lock and unlock the doors. So that'll be locking and unlocking it. And that way I can actually use the vehicle without taking the key out of my pocket. So here's the inside of the passenger door, and all kinds of cool designs there. And you have that two-tone black, tan, and then you have that metallic, that diamond accented metallic look right there. Stitching on the sides. Really awesome styling in this vehicle. There's the Maxima threshold there. Power seat on the passenger side. And the seat's all the way down and all the way back, so you can give you an idea of how much actual room you have here in the front, which is a whole bunch. You got the metallic accent there. perforations all up and down on that seat, heated seats, leather, very comfortable, very prominent center console there. Let's take a look here in the back. There's the inside of the back door. Same styling with the different colors and the contours, the aggressive contours there, and then you have the metallic accent there. And like I said, the front seat's all the way back, so you still have some decent leg room, especially considering how big the seat is. Very comfortable seating position. What they call the 0G seating position that Nissan kind of borrowed from NASA to get you a really comfortable feel when you're sitting in the seat. Plenty of leg room, plus it's pretty good amount of space above the floor, so that way, you know, your knees aren't sticking up too far in the air. So let's take a look here. Has the armrest with the cup holders and a place to put something like your cell phone or something there. And so let's take a look over here. It has some vents so you can share some climate control with the front, the driver and passenger there, with a shotgun seat position, I guess. All right, so let's look back here. And like I was saying before, floating roof design. You've got this black portion, and then you have that chrome accent. It gives you the illusion that the actual roof is, you know, detached from the top. It's not as prominent in this particular color, but in the white and the silver, it's a little bit more prominent. It kind of pops out yet a little bit more. But this one is, you know, it kind of blends in a little bit more since it's a darker color. So you have the dual exhaust with the chrome tips. Alright, so let's go ahead and look in the trunk. I could use the key fob to open up the trunk, but there's a little button. It's right in here. I don't know if you can see that. But you push that and it opens it up. And you kind of have to know right where it is. It's right to the right of the backup camera. Okay, so here's the trunk. And plenty of room, plenty of space back here, cargo space. Here's the little straps to lower the back seats in case you need some more cargo space. You can actually almost double this amount of space when you lower those. Then you have this net here. Underneath this carpet area is the spare tire right here, and you have the spare tire with the tools and everything there. And then the net actually is really handy for putting stuff in. A lot of people are using those now. Alright, so let's move on past the trunk on to gas cap. So there's the fuel door, and it's on the driver's side, which is very convenient. And it has this little, I'm not going to open it up because this it is running, but it is a locking gas cap, so the vehicle has to be unlocked for you to open up this. And this little tether holds on to the gas cap when you hang it right here on the door, so that way when you take the gas cap off, you can hang it right there, and it doesn't dangle down and scratch your paint. Alright, so let's take a look under the hood. Check out that 3.5 liter V6. Has a remote start. We'll turn off the engine when the hood's popped. But let's go ahead and take a look here. 3.5 liter V6. Covered up with plastic, of course. So you see a little bit of metal there, but I think you get the idea. But yeah, this is a really quick vehicle. 300 horsepower, 3.5 liter. And with that transmission is absolutely dynamite. It puts you right in the gear ratio every time that you want. When you're taking off, when you're slowing down, you slow down and then take back off. It's just right there. So, plus you have that stabilizer bar across the strut towers to give you some really rigid, stiff, solid ride. So that's what you want. You don't want any kind of wobbling around. Everything's well placed. Nissans are really good about taking, you know, the wires are secure and everything's kind of, there's not a lot of extra crap everywhere or redundancy. Plus you have these sound barriers around the outside of the engine compartment there to kind of, you know, make everything a little bit quieter. And you have the insulation underneath the hood, which from what I understand, that is actually to quell a fire too, from, you know, like a blanket that can actually drop down and help stop a fire from, you know, that's what I heard. Let me know if that's true or not. I don't want to repeat misinformation. All right, so let's take a look behind the steering wheel and see what it looks like back there. So to start it, without the remote start, you just get in the vehicle, as long as the key's with you, put your foot on the brake, and push this button. Alright, here we are behind the wheel, and this is a really expert laid out vehicle. The way everything is, has plenty of leg room, and the knee room, there's a little tiny bit of a, you know, me resting my knee here, but it is a soft pad, so it's not a big deal. Also, it's kind of dished out underneath, so, and also I've got plenty of, you know, straight leg room, so that's not a big deal. But overall, the headroom is great. The seating position is awesome, very comfortable seats. So let's go ahead and start over here on the driver's door. So all the power windows are here, and your rear power windows are here, but these are not they're not automatic, so I have to actually hold them. The front ones, you can just push it like that and it goes all the way down. Now going up is the same thing, you just pull up on it. Power door locks. Now you can cut out the rear windows from being rolled up and down using this button, or all the other windows basically but yours, in case you have children or something in the seats. You don't want them to play around with the power windows. Side mirrors are controlled here. You just have to pick left or right, and then you can adjust them, and then you put it in the center position to avoid messing them up again. Also, check it out. Maybe the lighting will be real good so you can see the diamond. This actually has diamond. You can feel the diamond, what do you call it, creases here in the side of the metallic accent. It's really cool. Same thing here. Alright. Okay, so right here we've got a couple buttons. This is to the left of the steering wheel, to the right of the door here. And you've got your open up your trunk button, and then you have this traction control button. And this basically is always on. It's a feature that keeps you from spinning out and stuff like that. So you really want to not turn it off unless you're stuck in the snow or ice, or not ice, but snow or mud or something like that, and you need to rock the vehicle and, you know, spin tires to get out. That's really the only time you want to, you know, turn off the traction control, because it is really a good safety feature. This little door here, that's the fuse box. You don't want to open that unless you actually want to access the fuses. And right above here is your dimmer switch for your interior gauge lighting right there, and then you can reset your trip with that button. So the steering wheel is, a lot of people call this a flat bottom steering wheel. Nissan's calling it the D-shaped steering wheel, which is really sporty looking, and it has the perforations there in the leather on the inside, and then you have the smooth leather on the outside, which is really impressive. And right here is a combination of, you know, that textured leather on the outside, and then you have this metallic accent there in the middle. So really impressive looking steering wheel. And you even have the bolsters, the side bolsters for the you know, to give you an extra grip there. So let's go ahead and check out the buttons here on the steering wheel. Here on the right, here's your cruise control. Just have to make sure it's turned on with that button, and you can set it, and you can change like your speed faster or slower, and then you can cancel it there. These buttons are for your Bluetooth phone. You can answer calls here, hang up on calls there, You can make calls with the voice recognition button, but you can also do other stuff with the voice recognition, like, you know, change through the stations and stuff like that. Here on the left side, now this is a combination of things. The volume button is here on the left, and these buttons, some of them, depending on what screen you're in, will correspond with the radio. Okay, so like say source, that will change like AM, FM, and you actually will, you know, show up here too, AM, FM, satellite radio, CD player, stuff like that. And you can use this up and down button to scroll through it as well. But you notice that's for your radio. Now, if you were to use these buttons, hopefully it'll, yeah, these buttons here, this will actually cycle through this screen, and it has nothing to do with the radio. And when you go in certain screens, you can go up and down with this button. So really, these buttons are kind of they control, depending on what you're doing, this screen or that screen, so your radio or this one. Okay, so let's check out this awesome screen here, this information screen here in the center. And so basically here on the home screen, you have your time, outside temperature, what gear you're in, how many miles and all that stuff, your compass and your miles per hour, and what kind of a brief overview of what your radio is doing. So I'm going to kind of scroll left and right so you can see these little icons that pop up. You see that in the home screen? Now we're in the radio screen, just kind of specifically what the radio is doing. To the right now is the navigation screen. It's your compass, and also it'll give you directions if you're actually, you know, en route somewhere in your navigation system. Scrolling to the right, this is your drive computer, which gives you average miles per gallon, average miles per hour, how many miles you've driven, and your time it took you. Fuel economy, you'll give an average and a real time as you're driving. And this is where your tire pressure, information about your vehicle will be here. Now your tire pressure is something that's not going to show when you're just sitting here. When you're driving, you actually see the tire pressure in each tire, which is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. This is your sports screen, and your sports screen gives you your power of your engine, how much power you're using. And then on the left, it gives you your oil temperature, and on the right, it gives you your transmission temperature, which is pretty cool. So you know how hard to push the engine without going too far. All right, so let's scroll to the right again. Any warnings or any kind of information that you need, like time to change the oil, stuff like that, will pop up here. And then you can go into different settings and change whatever you want, pretty much. Then it scrolls back to your home screen. Alrighty, so here is your headlight controls, and you've got an automatic setting, parking lights, and then on. Fog lights are controlled here. Windshield wipers are controlled on that side. Okay, so here is the awesome center stack, and it's accented with a shiny plastic around, which looks very classy to me. And you have the CD player kind of hidden here at the top, in case you don't see it, kind of blended in there. So touchscreen radio system, computer, I guess you can say. So basically, right now we're in the navigation screen, and you can see very clear, easy to read, vibrant, crisp colors, and the words are prominent and easy to read. And right now I'm kind of zoomed out so you can get an idea, to give you some context on what the map actually looks like. Really good map. You can go into the little navy button there and put in a specific address and all that good stuff. You know, pretty much typical navigation system where you can have address books. You can go to particular places without actually having to put in the address every time. Then you can put in your home address and all that stuff. So let me push this menu button. It shows you, this is kind of like, it has these icons here, and Nissan Connect apps is a pretty cool thing where you can have Google search and different apps there that uses your cell phone once you pair it. But that's another, you know, that's a whole another video there. But then you have the let's go. That's like going home, like going to your house. But I want to show you, this has different screens, sort of like your cell phone. You can kind of scroll through, have different icons in different places, and you can really customize this screen a lot. And then you've got your audio screen here, your presets there at the bottom. I'm going to push source so you can see how many different ways of playing music through the sound system. AM, FM, satellite radio, CD, USB 1 and 2, including iPod capabilities, Bluetooth audio, and auxiliary input. Lots and lots of ways of playing music through the sound system. And then you've got your change to the tracks and stuff like that. You have a traditional volume knob on that side, change to your stations there. Also, you have your camera settings by pushing this button, and you can turn on the predictive course lines on or off, which I'll show you that in a second. So down here is your climate control, and it is a dual zone driver and passenger, and you can sync those if you wanted to. So right now it says dual, and so I can change this one, and it's separate from the other side. Same thing with that, but you can always turn that feature off, so now they're both the same. So like that. Fan speeds here, where you want the air to blow, is right in the mode. And then you got your front and rear defrosters on that side, and then your recirculate the air on that side, which is a really good. Now recirculating the air, I just want to mention, not only does it get colder air because it keeps cooling the same air, but also it keeps outside odors and outside air from coming in the vehicle. So it's a really good feature there. There's the start button. Perfect place to put your cell phone in here, especially if you got a cell phone like mine. Let me just show you. Check that out. It goes right in there perfect. You close it up. And I've got a Note 4, which is very large cell phone. But anyways, you do have, there's your USB ports and your auxiliary input right there. And of course you can put other stuff besides the cell phone in there. It is felt lined. Cup holders are here. And here's another way of actually using the touchscreen radio without actually reaching over there and playing with it. You have this whole interactive system here. I guess it's kind of like a physical mouse, I guess, where you can change through stuff with that little thing right there, and then you can turn it to quickly accent something, and you push OK. This is a way to keep your hand from fumbling around over here. You can have your eyes on the road and your other hand on the wheel, and you can quickly select something with this little dial right here. It's a little redundant because you can actually push the buttons up there, but it's a way of keeping your if you've got long legs and you're comfortable back here, you don't want to reach over there and mess with the touchscreen while you're driving. So this is a really good way of solving that problem. Heated seat controls are here. So here's your shifter, and it has this leather looking boot here with the stitching, really classy looking. So let me go ahead and put it in reverse to show you the backup camera. And here's the backup camera, and it has the predictive course lines there. And I'm going to just kind of show you that I want to talk about the way these screens are. They are distorted because you see the earth looks round, like super round, not normal round, because it's a wide angle fisheye lens to give you the best visibility. But that distortion messes up your depth perception. So these lines here, you have a green, yellow, and red. Like literally, that's only a few inches right here. Down here, it's a few feet. So make sure that you're like, oh, I got plenty of room, I'll just keep backing up, and then bam. Make sure you're aware that this is stretched out here and compared to down here because of that distortion of the lens, and that's why they put those lines there, and also give you an estimated width of the vehicle and all that stuff. Plus, you'll notice over here it has it's letting you know that the sonar sensors are active when you have it in reverse. So let's continue down to neutral and then drive. So that's your normal drive position. It's going to cycle through the gears just like any other transmission. It has 7 gear ratios that are not fixed, but it does have 7 separate gear ratios that it can choose. Since it's a CVT transmission, it can actually choose those 7 gear ratios. There's 7 points, shift points, and it's kind of hard to explain. The CVT is a little bit different, but it doesn't, as you're driving, you're not going to know that it's a CVT system. You're just going to know that, like, man, this thing shifts great. Now, if you want to shift it yourself, put it over like that, now you are in what's like a sport mode, manual mode, and right now, see, we're in 1. I can cycle through the gears like this. It's not going to let me do it now because I'm just sitting here. but it's like a ratchet shifter, so I can cycle through the gears as I'm driving and have more control over those shift points as I'm driving. So that's really cool. Alright, so you have this normal and sport mode. These are drive modes. Normal is just normal driving, and sport mode tells the vehicle that you want to focus more on performance and not really care about gas mileage. So and also you have a little, when you push the sport mode, it'll give you a little bit more of a roar of the engine, which is pretty neat. I couldn't really tell a big difference, but you know, it just sounded cool either way to me. So you know, some people might be able to tell better than I can. Alright, so here is the center armrest, and like I said, this whole console is very, very prominent and high up, and so this is, you know, at the same, almost the same level, and this lifts up here, and then you have a power supply down in there and a felt line storage compartment, which is pretty cool. Auto dim rear view mirror, which is actually auto dimming now since I'm covering up the sensor with this cover, and the rear view mirror also has these buttons, so you can turn the auto dimming feature on and off here, and then you have the garage door opener, HomeLink garage door opener controls here. Alright, so here's a place to put your shades. Little tap light, LED tap light for there, and then you can turn them all on with that button. And then this button is for if you want the doors to trigger the interior lights or not. There's a little ambient light that shines through there at night, which is pretty cool. Check out my night video. I have one on the 16 Maxima, which is pretty fun to watch. And the visor has mirrors and lights. Same thing on that side. Let's take a look at the visibility back here. Alright, so what do you think? What do you think of the 2016 Nissan Maxima? A lot of people are talking about it, and I really love it. And I really, I'm kind of surprised some people are, you know, like, kind of, I guess it has to kind of grow on them or whatever. But I think it's great. I think it's a really good choice in the market, and, you know, a lot of other vehicles are going to have a tough time competing with this one. Alright, so if you have any experience with this vehicle, maybe you own one, you've taken one for a test drive, you know, whatever, leave it in the comments. That really helps other people. And also, if there's any clarifications or questions or anything like that, leave it in the comments. There's a lot of experts out there that like to answer comments. So, you know, also just want to mention, if anybody has a question or a comment, or if they're answering a comment, please leave your source. So like say if you have you're answering a question, leave the source of the information that you found. Like say if somebody's asking about the gear ratio, and you say that you tell them what the gear ratio is, then leave the source of the information. That really helps other people out, because you know, that way there's no confusion. It helps, you know, solidify the point. It gets the information out there for everybody to watch, you know, consolidate a lot of information in one spot so people can do some better research. So, you know, citing sources are really good, you know, when it's factual. If it's opinion based, of course, you know, it's just opinion. You know, I like ice cream, other people might not like it, so that's opinion. So leave your factual information, the sources for those. I'd really appreciate it. Sometimes it's going to trigger it as spam. I go through those and make sure, look at the links, and I'll approve them if, you know, if it's something that's useful for everybody. So don't worry about that if it gets marked as spam or something like that. Just go ahead and leave your sources. It really helps everybody out, including me. So thank you for watching. Thank you to Grand Strand Nissan for letting me show off this awesome car, and I'll see you guys next time. Check out this seat. It has this adjustable portion right here to help out with your leg support, especially helpful on long trips.